What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. I wanted to switch gears and talk today about something not Sega related. I know, pretty crazy. I know, hard to believe. But today I wanted to talk about the NES top loader, as most of us gamers know it as the NES Model 101. So this is a very interesting console. I'm going to go over a few things, how it was launched, why it was launched, what kind of reception did it have? There's a lot of interesting facts about this thing that a lot of us don't know about. And as much as it's coveted today amongst retro gamers, that really wasn't the case in 1993 when it was released. So guys, today on this video, we're going to be talking about the NES Model 101. This symbol is symbiotic of 8-bit gaming. The console that saved gaming was built to look like a toy. This was done because the United States had just gone through a video game crash 2 years prior to the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985. You see, Nintendo wanted to be more than a video game console. They wanted to be an entertainment system that connected to many devices, not just cartridges. This was apparent in its marketing of Rob the Robot, the track and field gamepad, and yes, even the Power Glove. Unfortunately, because of the redesign for the North American market, there were some unexpected design flaws that would later wreak havoc for us 8-bit gamers. The first design flaw that reared its ugly head was the wearing out of the 72-pin connector. This was of course the connector that connected the cartridge to the board. From the constant strain on the pins from having to press the cartridge down and dust collecting, this eventually wore out the pins and caused connection issues between the 72-pin and the cartridge. Oh, and the hot, moist air from our breath when we blew into the carts, I'm sure did wonders with the speeding up of the corrosion process. Another design flaw was the lockout chips that would tend to go bad. You see, the original NES was designed with what was called a 10NES integrated chip. This acted as a lock that would authenticate the cartridge and allow it to run. When these went bad, we would just get a gray screen. So, in 1993, Nintendo finally offered a solution known as the NES Model 101. The body was made flatter and curvier, more like a wedge than the boxy original. This also made the system smaller. The power button in front was replaced with a large red power switch on top. The reset button was replaced with a large gray button on top as well. The NES controller also saw a redesign and was designed to look like an SNES controller using that iconic dog bone shape. The color was changed from gray and black of the original to a two-tone gray of the SNES. The most notable change, however, was a change from a front-loading design to a top-loading design. Instead of inserting the cartridge into the front and closing the door, the cartridges were placed into the top with no cover. This design fixed the problem of the 72-pin connector, as now it was simply a slot with pins the cartridge sat in. The Model 101 also got rid of that pesky lockout chip that would eventually fail and prevent you from playing your games. However, not all redesigns were for the better. The first problem was, the console no longer supported the composite output that the original model supported. The Model 101, or top loader, only had an RF connection, which led to a weaker picture and those annoying jail bars we eventually just had to get used to. The second issue was that the original Game Genie did not work with the system without an adapter. By the way, good luck finding one of those at the time. At the time when the NES Model 101 came out, the public reception was pretty bad. You have to remember, this was 1993. The SNES was in its heyday and the N64 was right around the corner. Even at a price of $49.99, these things weren't exactly flying off the shelves. I have to say though, for kids like me, this was great. At the time, I only had my NES and my Genesis, and my NES still got a lot of playing time. Aside from not being able to fit the Game Genie in the system, I loved it. It was like having a brand new Nintendo all over again. The console did not sell well, therefore not many were made, and decades later became a highly collectible item. At the time of making this video, they're going from $160 to $230 on eBay. And even though the Model 101 had an inferior picture to the original toaster style, it didn't have that iconic look we assimilate with 8-bit gaming. It's an absolute tank of a console. The one I showed in the beginning of this video was the one I got in Christmas of 1993. I was 8. And aside from having to clean it out of storage, it still works fine to this day. I have to say, I really love the NES Model 101. I know a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't have the greater picture, and maybe it's a little bit nostalgia for me, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Well guys, there you have it. A brief background on why we now have the coveted NES Model 101. I hope you liked this video. If you did, subscribe and stick around for a while. If you love these edited videos and want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Channel members get shoutouts in all videos, as well as other perks like custom emojis and member-only live streams. Till next time, do you even 8-bit top load, bro? I'll see you on the next video.